niyatayami
Sangye
Shirang Soki Chognam La Chanshu Bardu Dakni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunam Ki Jola Benshir Sangye Juparsho
Sangye
Shirang Soki Chognam La Jamshu Bardu Dagni Gyapsushi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sunam Gi Jola Benshir Sangye Druparsho
Sangye
Chudang Zogi Chonam La Jamshu Bardu Dagni Gyapsuchi Dagi Chunyen Gibe Sunam Gi Jola Benshir Sangye Druparsho.
So we have a special guest today, the Dean of the College of without her and Scott, this place wouldn't be here at all. Not possible. Wouldn't be here. And they work all day, all night. They never take a break. They don't take a vacation. They work 7 days a week. They work here all the time. And there's 1,000 things they did so you could be here and you don't even know they did it because they did it quietly. And I'd like to thank her for that. Yeah. All right, homework time.
So,
And she said she would also make a life tool for me.
so as you recall, we're working on a text called Light in the Path to Freedom by Chini Lama, and it's because he says the most important thing, the essence of the Buddhist path, is to understand and realize emptiness. And so this text is looking at the different ways in which the different philosophical schools understand primarily what the gacha is, what things are empty of. So we're now in the independent group of the Middle Way School, and we're sort of like maybe halfway through their presentation, and we're looking at a discussion of how it's impossible that things could be partless. And we've gone on to a new category. What category is it?
Oh, so we do homeworks first. And it's just a public thing. Because they are working too hard to do homeworks at night. Okay.
Things that do not come about by the coming together of causes and conditions.
And what are 3 examples that he uses?
Oh, that's a very beautiful.
Namga.
Just plain old, well,
Go. Just
I guess namka could be used in both senses, but
He just says Namga.
Space. Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
go.
Goal.
Gokten.
yeah,
That's
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
sensation.
No. Tone five.
I think he says.
He calls it Chini, I think. Taramata. Yeah, so it's interesting because, as I said in the class, very few people can name more than one unchanging thing. He names almost all of them, and then one by one he proves they have parts, which is very unusual, very rare. So her text is unbelievable. He goes through all the categories of things and proves they have parts, which supports Nagarjuna. Okay.
So to demonstrate that it is impossible for emptiness to not have parts, Chuni Lama says different things have different emptinesses. What was his example? Do you remember? It was so kind of sexy.
That was like 2 whole days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
The emptinesses you have understood and the emptinesses you have not.
That's so sexy. That's so sexy. He didn't say emptiness of person, emptiness of things. He said, you want to divide emptinesses? There's the one you understand, and there's the one you don't understand.
That was cool.
Yeah. Okay.
How is it that things are like an illusion?
Oh, don't even get me started.
Like a reflection in a mirror? Is that yours?
That's my text.
Also, they exist in another.
Say it louder.
Perfect.
Don't be
They
shy.
seem to be one way and then they exist in another.
Good. Yeah, that's illusion. That's a definition of illusion. They exist one way and they look a different way.
Bonus question. Are things illusory in a Google way?
What's it called in Tibetan? What are the two words in Tibetan?
Ninang,
Nangtsul and
Ninang.
Netsul.
Oh,
Nangtsul and Netsul.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You can say Ninang. That's the same. Yeah. Okay.
I suppose Nitun has no English
Why
equivalent.
would you say that?
You do suppose that.
You're
I
right.
suppose no one can tell me what.
Not in
Nitun
accordance. Not
Yeah, but what's it
same.
referred to in this context?
Oh.
Doesn't match.
Good. What doesn't match?
The way we see things and
Yeah.
what we see.
Yeah, good, good. There's a discrepancy. I like to call it nowadays the discrepancy.
Whoa. Nope.
Nyundu.
Oh, this is a hard one.
That's not in there.
Very hard.
I'll give
This
you
is
a
worth
hint.
money. I mean, you should give them money.
The Nyun is related to the word for cuckoo.
How
Right.
crazy. But so it means crazy, but I still don't remember.
You would be
the-
sane, sir?
Not as crazy.
Valid?
Not in a.
What? Close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got, yes, very good. Indisputable.
Oh,
Indisputable. Indisputable. Could never, no one could question it. It means no one could question it. Okay. It's rare. What's the word for alcohol which is related to this root?
Ninja.
Nyoche.
Nyocha.
Crazy maker. See, that's the same root. The nyo is the same. Okay. The word in scripture for alcohol and drugs is nyoche. Crazy maker. Same root.
This phrase I made up.
Holy moly.
So
By the way, what's the famous debate expression based on nyo?
Debating with a crazy
You can't
person.
you can't debate with a crazy person.
Yeah.
I'll give you the simple one and I'll give you the elegant one.
Okay.
Okay? If you're having a debate with somebody and they keep breaking the rules, you just say, you're nyomba. I can't debate with nyomba. You know, like you can't debate with a crazy person or a drunk person or forget it, or a person who's very angry. You know, just say, I'm not going to debate with nyomba. And then you walk off. You walk away. In the debate ground, you just, you just walk away. It's like one of the ultimate insults, okay? But if you're going to say it more elegantly, you say, Nyun ding wa dang tsupa me. You say, Nyun ding. Nyun ding wa dang tsupa me. It is impossible to debate with a person whose senses have gone off. And it's an elegant way to say, you know,
Can't debate with
come on, get real, you know. You're not following any of the rules of debate, and it's hopeless to debate with you. And you just walk off. It's like a debate tactic in the debate ground. You say, "Nyun deng wa dan supa me," and you just turn around and just walk away. Okay, it's like the ultimate insult.
The other option.
Sometimes he's not nyun deng wa, you just couldn't figure out what he was saying.
you're the one.
Okay, what the ding was, I don't know. It's just customary. Okay.
Not possible.
The other option is to
It's-
just repeat the subject as the reason.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, go.
Okay,
Sorry.
so
Yeah, that seems to be.
maybe you can tell me did I construct this properly? Kong tong nam ka mayin, kyu nam ka chen.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
I'll kiss your feet.
Kung Tong, the
That's
space
beautiful.
in an object is not empty space.
Yeah, nice.
You are empty space?
It.
No, it nam ka
It
chen.
has
It has a.
It has.
Very nice. Very, very nice
Oh,
sentence.
is it?
It showed originality. It showed correctness, and it's sexy.
Is China
Name.
better than you, though?
What's the point? Explain the point.
in and out. About the voidness?
Kong tong and
Yeah.
Yes.
what's the
Kong
difference?
tong is just a cavity. It's a void.
Yeah, you
Nam
could.
ka is the lack of obstruction,
Good.
and
Yeah.
it's a unchanging.
This
state.
cup rests in empty space.
Yeah.
But never make the mistake of explaining the empty space as the space between the two edges of the cup. That's wrong. But our author did it.
Yep.
Or he referred to it. Now, whether he really thought that, we don't know. but never explain empty space as the distance between the two counters where you push the refrigerator in. That's not empty space. Empty space is where the refrigerator is standing. Before you push it in, it's still empty space. Okay, so never mistake. Don't ever sit and listen to a discussion by someone who's teaching you empty space means the distance between me and you. That's not empty space. Okay, that's actually a positive thing. For one thing, okay.
I've heard people
Thank
talk about
you.
a dujaking now.
So this is not a dip in the floor. This is what an art teacher did in a school to keep the kids from running in the hall. She made these tiles of different sizes so that it appeared there was a dip in the floor.
Wow,
Things are
that's
not
cool.
Is there a difference on between Duma Jeki Namka and Dujeki Namka?
Yeah, I mean, Dujeki Nunka would be the blue sky. It's the first two of the four spaces.
Okay.
Yeah, color.
I mean, could you say that the space between the walls or
You could,
cavity is
yeah, you could
Dujeki
say
Namka?
that. You could kind of say
You might
that.
just be using the word in a general way, right?
It could be. I mean, let's give him the benefit of the doubt since he's Chonin Lama.
Sorry.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt since he's Chonin Lama. Since he wrote half the books we're translating.
And then also the first example of the three ways in which space is impossible to be partless
Yeah.
was east and west.
Yeah,
So
that's a little
general,
different.
right?
Yeah, okay, not bad. I'm going to review very quickly where we are. Okay, we proved that things cannot. That the big proof that we're on is that things are neither one nor many. If they're not one nor many, they can't exist. Okay, so to prove they're not one, all you have to do is prove they have parts, and we finished that for every possible thing. Now we have to prove they're not many. So we reached the not many argument. Yeah, normally they don't go into it. They just say, look, it can't be many if it's not one. And then they go on. They don't give you more arguments. But this, he does.
Cool.
He gives you more arguments. And he says,
You want to take the plane?
oh, sorry. So I'm just repeating where we are. Well, we've already covered this part. He says here, a sprout cannot be a truly existing many because it's not a truly existing one. Then he says, and that has to be the case because if you're many, it's made of ones. Everything that's many is made of ones, okay? If you prove that every single existing entity, including non-changing ones, have parts, okay? Then you have to say, now he's going off on a different subject. Then you have to say, every object in the universe involves parts and wholes. Okay, parts and wholes. So now he's going to go off on parts and wholes.
Oh, Cha-Chen is holes?
Yeah, W-H-O-L. The whole cup and the parts of the cup. Okay, wholes and parts. So he's going to go off on a discussion of wholes and parts. And what he does is he discusses it in terms of the discrepancies. Somebody tell me what that means.
When you look at something, you think it doesn't have parts, you think it's a whole, but in fact it's...
You look at one or the other. You're either looking at the whole thing or the parts of the thing, and you it appears to you as if those are different.
Nice. There seems to be a discrepancy, okay? When you look at Nick, normally, you're either looking at the whole Nick or you're looking at parts of the Nick together, and it feels like it's different things. In the same way that you feel like the pen is coming from the pen.
Different things,
Okay.
like the hand is not...
No, you think the whole, all of the parts together and the whole feel like different things. Okay, got it? You look at all the parts of a car, and then you look at the car, and it feels like they are different. But they're not. They are ngochik. Okay, they are the same thing. Okay, it's just your mind can't handle it. And that has to do with self-existence, okay? You got some kind of self-existence. There's a discrepancy going on. You cannot, your mind cannot entertain the whole while it's entertaining the parts, even if it's all the parts. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So that's what we're discussing.
For the moment, I got it.
And it's very subtle. It's very
Yeah.
subtle.
Yeah.
It almost
And
help you see emptiness.
it's going to help you see
I find
emptiness.
it really hard to get in touch with that.
I know, that's you got to chew on it. The point of doing so many different deep books is that we want to hit parts that aren't comfortable.
Yeah, right.
Because then we'll learn something, or they're crazy. Okay, so the point of having so many books, and the point of struggling through them, is to find parts we don't understand already, because then we learn something. Okay, all right, here we go. Who's got the plane? Dr. Kramer.
Yes.
Chima Drukte.
He corrects her pronunciation.
Bumzin Wang Shela Ni. Bumpe Chu Shapdang. Towa Jimpa Soki Chanam Sosor Nangwa Gangshik. Bumpa Te Kangshik. Bumpa Te Ni Chachen Chik Dune Becher.
Nebechin.
He tries to make one screw up so I have something to do.
Okay, Chima Drupte, the latter part of the reason is correct, okay? The latter part of the reason was the collection of the parts and the whole appear to the mind as separate.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he's going to prove it. Okay, now he says, Chima, I'm going to prove the latter one. Here it is. Bumzin Wangshe.
The sense power. Sorry.
Yeah, and this gets into Su Gang's text.
Right.
Oh, whether the sense power is
Just because
The sense powers are defective.
right.
This is not a mental decision. Your equipment is bad. You were born with defective equipment. You can't see things correctly. Your eyes messed up. Not your mind. You don't decide parts and wholes. Your eye power from countless billions of years is infected to think that the pen is coming from the pen. Even if you didn't think about it, your eye would see it that way. You see, your eye is defective, okay? It's very sad to get out of samsara with using defective equipment. It's almost impossible, okay? Got it? We're not talking about the mind. We're talking about the sense powers. The eye, which is physical, which we learned in whose text?
Sugan.
No, Adam's text. We just went through it. We just went through it, right?
Right.
Not all things which have an object are mental.
Shit.
And we had two other examples of things that have an object, but they're not mental. Give me one of
The
the
sun. The sun.
good words have their objects, but they're not mind. And physical eyeball has its object, but it's not mind. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So now we're talking Bumzin Wangshe. The visual consciousness, the consciousness based on the power, which is looking at a vase or a cup. Okay, here we go. And he starts listing classical parts of a bumpa.
The lips and the
Yeah, Chu is the spout. Shub is the little base.
Holy bottom.
Toa
The foundation.
means belly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Big belly.
There's a famous Abhidharma author named
Big belly.
Toche. He wrote one of the 7 books. It's called Mr. Big Belly. Of course, we wouldn't call him that. And then Jimba, the throat or the neck of the vase. Okay, we call it the neck of the vase. These chanam,
These parts.
so sore.
One by one.
as individual parts.
Yeah, the
Individually.
is important. Daily grammar case. They appear as individual parts.
Here,
And Bumpa Deni,
The essence of
the pot itself.
yeah, the pot itself
Nice.
Appears
is
as one.
chik to ne.
Seems
Okay.
like it's on one thing.
No, ne
is
as one. It exists as one. So here's the discrepancy.
What's the difference?
Nangzul and netsu. They appear to have parts, but it's actually one thing. Okay.
Weird.
All right. And that's a discrepancy.
He could have gone the other way with that.
Yeah, you could go the other way.
Yeah, I thought it
I
was.
think. I'm also not familiar with this argument, and it's a little uncomfortable so far.
Especially since he just proved that if it has parts, it can't be one.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going into cheat sense. Anyway.
Let's go.
Bumzin
Pumps it.
Pum
Pum.
Dokpa 랑 대신 두조.
Yeah, he's just saying. Now look at the difference here. Bumzin Wangxi
Yeah.
and Bumzin Tokpa.
The idea.
Yeah, the mental consciousness has the same defect. Your mind is as messed up as your eyes. Okay, so you could look at the vase with your, you could close your eyes and think about the vase, and you'd still make the same mistake. Okay, you would still make the same mistake. Okay, very interesting. Daishin Dujo is, this applies as well. This applies in the same way, and all this can be applied in the same way to your purely mental consciousness of parts and wholes. Okay, here we go.
차탕 차첸.
By the way, the problem is that the mind or the eye sense doesn't see that the cha and the cha chen are ngo chik. That to be one is to be the other. Okay? Now, helpfully, thankfully, he's going to say, by the way, they are one. To be one is to be the other, and he's going to prove it. Okay? Because what's he talking about? To be one is to. What's it mean, ngo chik here? Ngo chik has many, many meanings.
Yeah.
Do you mean they're the same thing, or do you mean they refer to the same thing, or you mean to be one is to be the other? You know, what kind of ngo chik are you talking about? And here he's going to clarify it, which is very helpful, and that's Choni Lama, and that's why we're focusing on Choni Lama. Okay, he cares about you. You know, he doesn't use the words without explaining them. I'm like Gyaltsab J. Okay. Okay, go.
Tangent.
Yeah.
No. 차탕 차첸이 모직인데 차셰남 차첸테 당당닥 직둔drel drel와 인베 here sorry 분페 주샵속 분파탕닥 직둔drel와 신호.
Now, I gotta remind you of a convention of relationship, okay? So you would say that Toyotas, cars, dang dak chi tudra. In Tibetan you say Toyota, car, and one thing, connection. Okay, in English you have to rearrange the parts, okay? To be a Toyota is to be a car. Okay, and it's very important in the study of Chichedra, of Chichedak. Okay, so we're on to the guts of Chichedak actually, which is very interesting that the dean came here during Chichedak, and they're teaching it downstairs in the next few days. The parts, to be the parts is to be the whole. In the same way that to be a Toyota is to be a car, but to be more precise here, in the same way that to be made is to be changing. Equal sense.
Equals to
I well, I'm going to say it that way. Let's see if it holds.
Oh, so it doesn't say
Okay.
that, you just, yeah.
No, it's that same formula. A, B, and to be. To be the parts is to be the whole. You see, ngo chik can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
But here he nails it down. I'm talking about the one where to be one is to be the other. Toyota and cars. Okay? Or cars and automobiles. Yeah. Okay? To be an automobile is to be a car is to be an automobile. Which, is this a two-way equivalence? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. But probably it is. I'm guessing. Okay? To be the collection of the parts is to be the whole. Okay, in DCI language, what do we have to add?
The last plus
The last part. What's the last part? The unifier. The unifier. The one that puts the parts together. And where does that come from? Your karmic seed. It pops out of your karmic seed. It's the pot on the stove which is coming downstairs very soon. Okay? All right? And here it comes. It's beautiful that the upstairs is matching the downstairs. Duh. Okay. Okay. All right. So Chashe Nam, to be the parts, is to be the wholes. I don't want to see what kind of translation.
Literal.
which would be, give me a bad translation of this phrase. Chashe dang chashe nam. We should have a bad translation day where you
Probably
just
not a good idea.
Because the parts
yeah.
and the whole, they are with one self together.
Connection.
Connection.
Yeah, I mean, give me something like that.
Yeah, because one arm.
Okay? Don't say to be a Toyota is to be a car. Say Toyota, the set of Toyotas has a one-on-one dark Atman connection with the cars. You see, don't say it in normal English. Okay? Don't pass the waiter test. Okay? So this is one of the cases where you have to transform the sentence completely if you want it to make sense to your readers. And if you translate it badly, it's a little obstacle in the way of the reader. And if there's 3 of those obstacles on a page, and if there's 6 of them in a chapter, they'll put the book down and it will rest on the shelf forever without being opened.
Hypothetical speaking.
Like the books behind your back. I don't think anyone's ever opened them. Okay. Well, look, these are English. This side is the same problem. Okay. All right. Okay. Got it. Now, just go ahead and read. Okay. Chadan chache ni ngo chikinde. What's the kind of oneness I'm talking about here, right?
Okay, thanks
What-
for asking.
Okay, what kind of sameness am I talking about here? Oh, it's the one where the parts are. To be the parts is to be that's the kind I'm talking about, okay? And if you want to say it more straight out, let's use coffee cup.
Yeah.
Go ahead, boom page.
So the
The-
neck and the belly and so on of the vase.
This is lip, okay?
Oh, lip.
It's the word for lip. This is called chew, okay?
Face.
Is that holding lip, Yeshua, or just lip?
Say again?
Is that the honorific for lip?
It is pretty high, yeah.
This is a high-end water pitcher.
Yeah, why water pitchers get high language, I don't know.
Very high.
So the lip and the base and so on of the vase.
Yeah. No, that's not how I want you to start the sentence. To be,
Oh, to be
good.
Yeah.
Come, give it to me.
the,
To be the
lips and base and
Etc.
so on of the vase
is to
is to be
the vase.
vase.
Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So transform this construction in Tibetan. I never want to see anyone do it literally. You know, the parts,
Such that.
the parts and the whole one connected self-nature interrelation.
Type of
You know,
relation.
it's just say the way it is. To be the parts is to be the whole. Okay, but it doesn't look that way to the human mind because it's infected. Okay, and that causes us all our problems. Okay, okay, go.
Detar shena ni ter sangtang.
Whoa.
No.
No, oh, sorry. Nang tang te tong sope sumpa yimbar nge nu pe gyuma shin duang nge nu so.
This is a beautiful sentence, and you know you could have a chance to write some poetry here if you do it right. Okay, and I'm going to stop at the new pei. Okay, this pei means everything that comes before proves what comes after. Okay, because of that, this. Okay, so forget the last part. We're going to come to it later. Let's just get the first part right. Teta shena.
If you see it that way, or
If you understand that point, what's that point? To be the
be the
parts is to be the whole. If you get it, okay, then ter nang.
that appears. Appearing as that.
Yeah, the way it appears, and the fact that it is empty of being that way in reality.
Wow.
Difficult sentence here, okay? I'll say it again. The way it appears, and the fact that it's not the way it appears, and he uses the word emptiness,
Empty
you
by
see?
that, which is
Yeah.
empty of.
Okay, I'll say it again. The fact that the parts and the whole appear to be different or separate, and the fact that they are empty of that separateness,
Wow.
okay, very difficult sentence, okay? If you get that, then you will be able to ascertain. You will finally figure out.
Lie?
You will be able to finally figure out
Collection is a lie.
the lie. The zun, the lie. He calls it the lie. It's a very beautiful sentence.
Why
Okay.
Or is it tone?
They come together. What comes together? It appears to be one way, and it's empty of being that way. And put those two together,
Oh.
you understand the lie. You got the lie. The grand lie of the pen. The pen is lying to you all the time. Okay? Why? It looks as though it's coming from itself, and it's empty of existing that way. If you understand that combination, so then you figured out the lie.
So,
And then if you figure out the lie, you know the meaning of
Illusion. Yeah.
illusion. See, it's so cool. I keep telling you, we finally hit Maya. And here it is. And Maya ain't no other thing in Buddhism. Forget it. Everything you heard in yoga class was wrong. Okay, this is the meaning of Maya. And this is the word for Maya, Gyuma. The Buddha's mother's name is Gyuma. Okay, in Tibetan. She's Maya. Okay. Cool. Did you have a question?
well, I was just wondering about the as well, but you understand illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you understand the lie,
Right.
which is the combination of it appearing the wrong way and it really being empty of that, those two things together, if you understand the lie, then you also figured out what it means in Buddhism when we say illusion. The world is an illusion, okay? Got it? It's cool. It's very beautiful.
We're almost to Prasanga.
Yeah, look.
Wow, heavy.
Where's Laroma? We've been at this for 2 years, and we're about to hit the correct version. Now, it might be interesting to try to discuss what's wrong with this.
Yeah.
You know, or is it wrong? Or is it just something that they say that the Prasangika would also agree with?
Right.
You know, we didn't go there yet.
He hasn't been.
I don't think he goes there.
I mean, he drops in Prasanga, but when he does so, he identifies it as such.
Yeah, I was afraid this question would come up. Let's just go on.
Chik to drill ki tak di kyak shema mikpe tak yinla chache tang tendrel ki tak ni nyugu denme du trupe gel da mikpe tak yang dam yinla.
Now he's getting into, you won't understand this sentence unless you have studied Adam's book, okay? When we get to Tagrik, the study of syllogisms, okay? The parts of syllogisms, the interrelationship between the pieces of a syllogism. What are the 4 classic parts of a syllogism?
The subject.
Yeah, let's take Nick.
The assertion.
He's handsome
The reason.
because he has a nice color shirt on today and the tie matches.
For example.
For example, he's like Geshe Michael. Okay, so these are the 4 classic parts of a Buddhist reason. Number 1, what are you talking about? Nick.
Shoot.
What do you want the other person to understand about him? He's handsome. It's something they didn't understand. Then you give him a reason, because he has the shirt and the matching tie, which I'm sure his wife did. And then number 4, you give a parallel example. He's similar to Geshe Michael,
Kevin Costner.
whose wife got him a tie. Okay, all right. Now there's relationships between all these parts. There's relationships between all these parts. I'll give you a, okay. Take the parking lot, the front part near the door. There's no Subaru. What's your car, Jingmei? Subaru? There's no Subaru there. Okay? Okay, behind those orange cones today, they blocked the parking lot because we have to take a photo today. So behind those orange cones today, there's no Subaru. Why? Because there's no cars there.
Right.
Okay?
So it's a
Because there's no cars there. Okay? If there's no cars, there's
No.
no Subaru.
No Subaru.
Why? Because cars is kyabje and Subarus is kyabja. Set and subset. Okay? Member of set and set. Okay? which is a kind of logic, okay? In the reason's position, if you give the set, then in the thing you're trying to prove, you can put the particular and you prove it. There's no Subaru there because
There's no cars.
there's no cars there. Cars is Kyabje, bigger set, and Subaru's is Kyabja, smaller set. Here, Kyabje Mamikbe Tak means, Mamikba means isn't there. Migme, say wait, right?
Yeah.
Isn't there. What's that mean? Migme, say what?
Emptiness, that's easier.
You love people who are not there. This is Tsongkhapa's achievement. They are not, you realize they're empty and you love them. Okay? So it's called mamik. So this is a special kind of logic. This is a category of logic that you're going to learn in 100 years when we get to it. Where, because the set's not present, the particular's not present. Okay?
Is there a classic example?
Now, he says, you want an example? It's Chitudel.
That's pertinent.
It's the syllogism we've been studying for the whole week. Which is what? Give me the syllogism. Let's take...
Take part of, sorry.
Let's take a thing.
Well, water
What
takes-
thing did he take?
Water takes it.
Yeah, okay. Take a water pitcher.
Yeah, it's,
It doesn't exist really
yeah.
Because it's
It has
neither.
parts.
because it's neither real one or real two.
Yeah, great.
Right? Am I right?
You are right.
Then Bhava Viveka's right.
Chia.
I said really 3 times. We spent a year in his his brilliant text explaining why you don't have to say really. And I just said really and nobody caught it.
Seemed okay since we're studying Svatantric.
Yeah. Okay, we're in Bhava Viveka school. He got me. He got me bad. I'm wounded. Okay, anyway, got it?
Yeah.
Why is it a Kyabje Mamipa? Why is it a car and Subaru argument?
Subset.
The-
Subset.
The water
To be one or to be the other.
We don't know if that's true.
Well, right now
we
we're-
didn't decide if it's a two-way relationship.
Yeah, right now we're talking about it being a two-way relationship, so we don't...
No, being self-existent one and being self-existent many covers being self-existent.
Oh, because if
You
you're
see?
self-existent,
If this ain't there, this cannot be there. The
you're
pitcher,
either self-existent
the
one
coffee
or
cup cannot be self-existent
without being either.
unless ones and things and many's are self-existent. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So it's a Kyabje Mame Petak. Mame Petak means in the last slot number 3, you use a negative. There's no cars. There's no cars. Here, there's no
There's no object.
one and there's no many. Okay, got it? So Mamikbe talks are several variations, but they always end with there's no. Okay, or it's not. Okay, Mayingak or Megak.
I need negative in the
Yeah, okay. So far the sentence says, what kind of classical syllogism, reason, are we using when we say things are neither one nor many?
Yeah.
We're using Kyabje Mamikpa. The general set is not present.
Okay.
Therefore, a particular instance of it is not present.
Cool.
Okay, that's the kind of reasoning we're using in this section. La.
But
Yeah, but. Go ahead. Chache dantenda kitagnini. But these arguments where you use either it has parts or it's dependent origination. If you use that in the third slot as your reason, because it has parts or because it's dependent origination, it's no longer a mamikbetak.
Right.
First of all, you didn't use a negative in the third slot. Okay. Takni. They are Gelda Mikbetak, separate category of syllogism. Gelda Mikpa means there's no green drink in my jar because there's coffee there.
Okay, yeah. It's something
They are
that's-
incompatible.
Yeah, incompatible. We learned,
It's called an incompatible, presence of an incompatible
yeah.
syllogism. Gelda Mikpa means present. Gyeongda means one of a pair of a contradiction.
Right, so if one is present, then the other can't be present.
We
Yeah.
had this
Gyeongda.
earlier in the text.
Yeah, there. Yeah. So it's a positive reason. You say something is there,
Yeah.
but if it's there, the other cannot be there.
And what's the name of the other one? If it's something is there, then the other one has to be there.
The set subset.
Gyeongda. Oh, it was like a.
Yeah, right.
We had two of them.
I don't remember.
Yeah, something is there, the other.
Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So there's two ways you can prove emptiness. Okay, you could say something's not there, and you're proving something about a smaller set or a member of the set. Okay, and you can say because it's not a self-existent coffee cup because it's neither one self-existent coffee cup nor nor more than one self-existent coffee cups. Being one self-existent coffee cup or more than one self-existent coffee cup is a bigger set than this coffee cup being self-existent. Okay?
So the larger set.
If there's no one thing there or many things there which are self-existent, there can't be
The cheap.
one coffee cup there which is self-existent. Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
But when you use, because it's dependently originating, or because it has parts, it's no longer a negative syllogism. It's a positive syllogism. You're proving the presence of something which cannot coexist with the other thing. If this one's present, the other one cannot be here. Okay, got it? If Trump is president in the White House, intelligence cannot be
Is
there.
absent from it.
Okay, that's a second type, Gyeongda Mikpa. Okay, the opposite of intelligence is there, so there cannot be intelligence there. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Good example. I just wrote myself two little examples that I was in the mood to write for myself to remember this.
Small.
Take this box. There's no small bananas there because there are no bananas there. That's Gyeongda Mamik. Sorry, yeah, that's Kyabje Mamikpa. The general set's not there, so one kind of's not there. I gave you two examples. Take this box. It's not unchanging because it was made in a factory. If it's made in a factory, it cannot. It's gelwa, contradictory for it to be unchanging.
Oh, but that doesn't make it a gel.
Gyeongda Mikpa.
It does. Because it's
Yeah,
not a group.
mikpa means made in a factory. It's a positive quality. If that quality is present, we say Gyeongda Mikpa. The opposite is present.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
idiocy in the Oval Office.
What do you call where one comes?
Therefore, intelligence cannot be there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you call the type where one comes? You know, he's a dog because he's a sheepdog.
Subject?
No,
You could say Kyabje because Kyabje can also apply to equals.
but it's not a kyabje mamika. It's a kyabje.
Mikpa, yeah, something like that. Yeah, you could. That's a Gyeongda Mikpa, I think.
Gyeongda mika. Gyeongda.
Yeah, as opposed to Gyeongda.
Where you see the relationship.
As opposed to Gyeongda.
Okay.
Different members of a necessary relationship are present.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
4 minutes.
There's many kinds of syllogisms. When
right.
we will get to him, I think there's 16 of these variations. Okay, and they're useful to know. Okay, what gun are you going to pull out to prove emptiness? Which category of reason are you allowed to use to prove emptiness? Here's two, and it's very cool. Okay, all right,
You
cool.
can make a list of each of the type of proofs in the proof for emptiness.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Rangyupek, Kapndir.
Come, dear. Remember that.
All right, Kamdir, Young Tendrel, Ki, Tak,
Tak.
Tang, Dorje, Shikme, oh,
Sek.
Sekje, Ten Sikso, Ye Kyang Mangdu Tope,
Cool.
Te Kipar Dor de Shiktelngurwe, Kapsu, Hinche Par Guro.
Okay, good. I'm just going to translate it quickly because we're out of time. Rangi ki kam dir, here in the discussion of the lower middle way school, here in the discussion of the lower middle way school, this Tendel Kitak, where you say something is empty because it is dependently originating, okay? or Dorje Segma, very famous. The sliver of diamond. Okay, sec frequency to sig frequency is about 1 to 50,000. So the typist corrected it unknowingly. Okay, it's not sig, which is a real word like Chenrei sig, Guan Yin. And sec means a sliver of diamond. Okay, very famous logic to prove emptiness. And whoever named it had probably seen emptiness.
Isn't it Nagarjuna?
Okay, we'll have to look in the Tengyu. Okay, he said, "Look, I could give you those here. You know, look, we're discussing lower middle way. I could give you more reasons, but mang to talk. I'm afraid talk means to have a superstition.
I'll overwhelm you.
I'm afraid this book would get too long to translate in 2019.
Consider it.
Okay, mang to talk ne, because I'm concerned about the book getting too long. I'm just gonna present
The features.
or the difference between these emptiness proofs in a brief way when we get to the higher middle way section. I'll give you a taste of these when we get to the higher middle way section, but it's too much to explain it here in the lower middle way because this section has gone on quite a while. You know, he spent a lot of time. He went through the magician, and then he went through all those reasons, and you know, he said, "Look, it's getting too long. It's going to get longer than the correct one."
Yeah.
So let's just. I'll give you a little bit of it when we get there. Okay, it's his dad has promised us some candy. Okay, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what Igor used to bribe his kids to come here, but it's like that. Okay, here we go. Stopped here. 21:19. Okay.
Sashi
Puki Joshi Metotam Rira Lingshi Ninde Gempadi Sangye Shindu Mikde Uwagi Jokunanda Shima Chupasho Iranguru Rana Mandala Kanyatayami
Kewa
Di Kewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Tsotsok Sanam Yeshe Lechungwe Tampa Kuni Topasho. They're all cool.